that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car. Love Jasmine. That's it.
Save us your crocodile tears. Nobody gives a shit, sir. Did you shed those tears when Donald Trump was found liable for raping E. Jean Carroll? Did you care that much? No? How about when officers were beaten on January 6th? Did you shed those tears? When the officer died the next day, when Officer Fanone had a heart attack, when many officers can never work again and 4 took their own lives the following year? Did you shed those tears? No? How about when the victims of Epstein have been begging for the files to be redacted so they can have justice? No? You didn't care about them? You didn't care about anybody, sir, except for your damn self. Because you're a selfish prick. You're exactly what's wrong with America. You are so stupid and so racist that you thought that a convicted felon, a 34-count convicted felon in a jury, in a courtroom by a jury of his peers, that he was going to uphold law and order, and you're worried that a convicted felon isn't following the law and isn't going after the worst? Wow, sir, it's almost like you're a dumbass. And by the way, I think I know why you don't care about the Epstein files. Because you were 35 years old when your fiancé was born. What in the fuck is wrong with you people? Why are all of you white men so obsessed with young girls? What in the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sure it's real love, sir. Yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that she's half your age. Nothing. I'm sure this is divine by God, sir. But you didn't care. You only cared when something affected you. That's why we're here. When I voted for universal health care, even though I have insurance. I voted for people to get out of college loan debt so they can afford a house, even though I paid for my own college. I voted to tax rich people. I voted for social programs. And you know what's funny? My taxes would have gone up as a small business owner. But not you. You said, I don't care about morality as long as I'm promised lower taxes. Have the day you voted for. What did you think that a white supremacist convicted felon was going to do? Just go after what? Criminals? He doesn't want anyone that's not white here. That's exactly why he's overturning the 14th Amendment, sir. You're a piece of shit. You didn't care about morality. You only cared when something affected you. And now your fiance is picked up and she's in a concentration camp, probably eating broccoli with maggots in it and moldy bread. Hey, for all I know, sir, the guards at that concentration camp could be taking bets on who's going to take their life next. Or the guards could be assaulting somebody there, and you don't care. You're exactly what's wrong with America. You are a white supremacist, white misogynistic piece of trash. This is why we're here, America. Because too many Americans don't give a damn about anybody else except themselves. They only care when something affects them. What do you think right now? Gas prices. Oh my God. And that's the problem. You didn't give a shit about morality or decency or believing women or officers that were injured. You didn't care about any of them. All you cared about is that you were promised money, because that's what you really love. The root of all evil is money. That's what you really love and crave. The party of family values, my ass. You are the party of being whores to capitalism and white supremacy. That's what you stand for. It really is a shame. I cannot believe how many shitty people we have. And yes, You don't get to vote for a rapist and a convicted felon, a man who caused an insurrection, who calls women fat and piggy and insults our troops and steals from cancer charities and say, I'm not a bad person. That's just a different point of view. No, you're a piece of shit. Because you have such a fucked up moral compass that you don't care about anybody except for your bank account. And it's rich how many of you people call yourselves Christians and you're supposed to build your wealth in heaven and you're supposed to love thy neighbor and help the least among us. And love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, love does not boast, love keeps no record of wrongdoing, and yet here you are, deport the brown people, deport the brown people. Yes, the white convicted felon's going to deport the brown people, because that's what you really voted for. The only way you're going to change is when you suffer the effects of your racism and your selfishness. You're going to lose your farm, you're going to lose your health care for your 6 teeth, you're not going to have health care insurance for you and your cousin that got married. You're not going to have enough gas to go to your Klan rally because you can't afford it. You don't regret your vote. You regret the consequences of your vote. You just thought that your cruelty would affect everybody that you hated. The libtards, the transgenders, the gays, the Muslims, the Somalians, the immigrants, the Latinos, the Mexicans, the Afghans. You thought it would affect everybody else and you would feel good. Schadenfreude, people that love the suffering of others, that's what you thought. Well, good. Maybe you should look in the mirror. Because that's the person responsible for where you are. Maybe you should stop being a selfish prick and start loving thy neighbor like I'm doing. And stop worried about your damn bank account. And just last thing, I've got to say this. For all of you people that say, well, he's pro-life, a president that rapes women isn't pro-life. A president that watches officers get beaten isn't pro-life. A man that defends child molesters isn't pro-life. Because the reality is you're too stupid to have critical thinking. Because the moment that the woman gives birth, you don't care if Donald Trump rapes her, if he molests her on Epstein Island. You don't care if it dies on January 6th. You don't care if it's blown up in a school in Gaza by Donald Trump. You don't care if it's murdered by Benjamin Netanyahu in Gaza. You don't care if it's homeless, has food, has health care. You don't give a shit about life. The only life you care about is your own because you're selfish pricks. Have a white day. Have the day you voted for, MAGA.